Welcome back to another episode here on the Heart and Hustle podcast. I have Mr. Sean from FIU. What's up, man?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Efren?
Listen, I'm blessed, man. It is Monday. I'm talking to you, and I know this is going to be a good conversation, man. FIU, is this where you went to school, or like, how do you get into this college space, man? Because I always feel people get to college and never leave, at least when I speak to them at this level. So how did you get to FIU?
So interesting. In high school I ran track, and I didn't know about FIU, which is kind of ironic. But the coach came and offered me a full scholarship my junior year and said, "Hey, injured or not, the scholarship is yours."
Wow.
I'm like, okay, that's great. I'm like, okay, that's my backup plan. Like, I'm not going to get injured. Who gets injured? First race senior year, out for the whole year. So it was my main offer. So essentially, that's how I came to FIU as a student back in the late 90s. But it was a great experience here. Great
Never left.
experience. Met good friends. Ran track here. Met my wife here. All kind of stuff. So it's been a blessing.
What is your role with FIU?
So funny thing is, after FIU, I left. Joined a nonprofit organization called After School All Stars, and we help a lot of kids with academics, enrichment, after school programs, middle school and high school students primarily. And we merged our operations with FIU in 2014 because they were such great partners. We did so many things with them, and it made sense for them to get more of a reach in the community. And it made sense for us to make sure that we're not worried about back office things, but just to focus on the kids. So we came back. So I came back to FIU in 2014. And as part of the agreement, they had me come on as an employee, and the rest is history.
Man, it's like it was meant for you to have, huh? Like the way from that coach telling you, hey, even if you're injured or not, like that's some strong words from a coach for sure to say, even if you're injured or not. What was your mindset when you realized, holy crap, I am injured senior year? You remember?
So I injured myself actually winning a race. I hyperextended my knee at the finish line. A photo finish, we won. It was a relay. It was a Disney Wild World of Sports relay. We had won the 4x8. And then it was the 4x4, and the gentleman who was also running anchor against me was actually the state champion for the year before. So I'm like, I need a lead. I know this guy's faster than me, but I'm gonna do my best to make sure that we win. We won. That night I was limping. The next day I couldn't walk. I was like, okay, this is it. But I felt like I could come back. Like, you're young, you fucking come back. Okay, it'll be like a week. And all of a sudden, like the knee wouldn't go down, and then it got re-aggravated. I'm like, okay, maybe a little bit longer. And all of a sudden, I'm back to running. And I'm not in the same condition. I didn't even think about that at that age. I was like, okay, this is a little bit different now. So what do I do? But I had that scholarship in my back pocket, so that worked.
Wow. What did you go to school for?
My bachelor's degree was in exercise physiology, and my master's was in sports management.
How you end up working with kids?
Well, one, I love working kids, and After School All Stars, it started out as a sports thing. So growing up, learning from my father, we're here to serve people.
Yeah.
People are always selfish and thinking about, okay, the world tells you, get what's yours. This is everything's all about you. I'm glad I didn't grow up that way. Obviously, Christ is my direction, and my family was able to show me and let me know about that at an early age. And as I built my own relationship, I understood it myself, and that was it. It's like, know something helping others. I love working with kids. It's a gift. And I love sports and interacting and doing different things, even art, music, those types of things. So it made sense. It made sense. I was looking for a job and I applied. And then my college roommate was there, already working there. We had the same bachelor's degree, the same master's degree, and ran the same events in college. So when the executive director at the time looked at the resume, like, oh, do you know this guy? Either you know him or he stole your resume, one of the two. So, But long story short, that was a blessing to join After School All Stars. He actually brought on our third roommate 5 months later. So it was awesome.
So pretty much your plan was small. God's plan was much bigger because you had a direction in life, but God was taking you into a different path, and looks like a path of purpose and passion, man. Like, do you ever think about it like that?
Yeah, because I had a discussion like last week. People think about, okay, you set your path, your direction, and you got to bring God into it. Like, nah, God sets your path and direction, and whatever you're doing, you bring your work into it. So I was going to work in sports. I was going to either be a sports agent. I did work for sports. I worked for the Miami Heat for maybe 14 seasons.
Yeah.
but I brought my faith with me because my faith, the job is just where I'm at, and I could be here today, gone tomorrow. Like you never know. But in essence, is like my walk, and where I'm at, I'm here to serve Him, and by serving Him, I'm serving the people who are around me, whether it's my employees or whether it's kids. So it's his direction, and
Yeah. Who's pouring this into you, man? I can imagine there's some great leaders, mentors, whether male or female. Do you recall any of those people that were really pouring into you that you still probably have those words in the back of your mind?
well, I'm fortunate enough to have and able to have some people, some accountability brothers, I should say. They're not family, but they're closer than family at some point. We meet, we can have lunch. We talk almost every day. We have lunch together at least once a month. From my church, one is just we do different. We work in ministry together, and that's the group. So we can hold each other accountable, which is important. Because the person has their best interest in heart, and they know who what the priority is. Because you don't want somebody saying, "Hey," you don't want a yes person in your corner if you're doing
Yeah.
something wrong. And you want somebody who cares about you enough to tell you, hey, you are doing something wrong, but this is why you're doing something wrong. And it's biblically based. It's not opinion based. It's not worldly based. So I'm glad to have that in my life. And like Tavares and James are my two brothers in terms of that. But also even people I've grown up with, in essence, like my director of programs here at All Stars at FIU, Richard. Like he's a resource for me. We're a resource for each other because we went to track, ran track together, we lived together because we ran track together, we worked together, so on. So he's best man at my wedding. I'm a godfather to his kids, and also another gentleman named Elliot who's in the group also. But he has his own business now. But keeping people like that who have your best interest at heart is important. Um,
How important is that, man, for a man? Like, I recently had a conversation with someone. It's like men are not comfortable talking to other men. But just like you, man, I have a homie and it's the funniest thing. We don't call each other if we know we're not doing enough because we don't want to hear from the other side, right?
yeah.
Hey, man, what's so long? He's like, oh, man, I really wasn't doing much, man. I didn't want you to hold me accountable. How important is it though, man, from a man to man perspective? Because I think that more of it should be happening, and I don't know that we have the best representation, I guess, to get there as fathers, as men.
I always say adults are like big kids sometimes. We feel like kids feel like, okay, we have the right way. We can't tell anybody. We have to be guarded and stuff like that. I don't want people to think a certain way of me. Obviously, you have to establish a relationship and trust because it's hard to be vulnerable. And as a man, and even as with stereotypes of what a man is supposed to be, you got to be macho, you got to be tough, you got to like those stereotypes aren't biblical.
Yeah.
But in essence, yes, you're called to lead and do certain things, but it's getting to that space once you realize, hey, I'm going through this. Like, know something. A lot of guys are going through the same or similar things.
Yeah.
And why are you going through it alone? And that can help you grow. And also, it could be like you're in a good spot and you went through it already, and someone else is going through it, and you can give them advice. But you're giving them advice. You try to make sure it's the right people that's founded in the Word, and so you're getting good advice, not something that somebody picked up someplace that's gonna do you harm down the line because it's short sighted. So.
Yeah. No, it's cool, man. I love that you have that. Those accountability partners. Accountability partners are so important in life as well, man. Like you said, not to just give me, oh man, that's good, but be like, man, it's good, but and really start to ask those questions. And I think sometimes as men, we could look at it as you're pressing us or you don't believe, and it's not that. It's truly wanting the best for a brother. And I love that you mentioned that it is that brotherhood, and we should, if you're watching this and you feel like you don't have enough men in your life that could really hold you accountable, then you're in the wrong circle. Did you find yourself at any point in the wrong circle, realizing that you had to pivot?
There have been times, and I'll say when I say times, it's certain instances where I'll be in certain places and I'm like, okay, I shouldn't be here. Like sometimes I can be in a room full of people and just be alone or just be like, okay, this is I shouldn't be here. So I wouldn't say I didn't roll with the wrong circle growing up, which is fortunate, but I know so many people that have, in essence of what we perceived as the wrong circle. But I've had lots of advice on different things. Like after thinking back at it, I'm like, know something, this was totally wrong. They're just trying to help me, quote unquote, as a friend. So just tell me what I want to hear, not what I need. And you don't want, like in the moment you feel you want that because you want someone to say, yeah, go ahead, son, go ahead and do this. And go ahead and go mess with that girl. Go. Hey, hey, man, he stepped on his shoe. You're supposed to do like you.
Yeah.
You like that because you're thinking that direction, but the direction is wrong, and people are just pushing you in the direction that you feel is right. And in hindsight, they know something is just foolishness.
Yeah.
So I
You
didn't
said
have
something.
a lot of wrong crowds, and because I had a healthy fear of my father and different things like that. When it came up, he's like, "Oh, I'm one guy talking about, are you scared of your dad?" I'm like, "Yes, I'm scared of my dad." "Oh, let's cut,
Yeah.
let's do so and so." I'm like, "No, man, I'm not getting caught and doing so and so." And but that guy ended up a couple years down the line in jail.
Yeah.
While I was in college, he was in jail like that.
And Sean, it probably wasn't even that you were scared. You had respect for your father. Your
Yes,
father that was pouring into you, man. Like, and your father today. It's not you want your kids to be scared of you, is you want your kids to respect you and
yes.
understand that, dad is not here from coming at it from I don't want you to do this. Dad is coming from, I understand from my life experiences, this may not be the best for you. Now, people are going to have their own choices. You've seen some of your friends that kind of had their own choices, but it looks like you've had some really good people. But you also mentioned how you had to go, uh, kind of always been spiritual growing up, but you had to also go find him. What was that moment that you realized you had to go deeper?
I was looked at, oh, Sean's a good guy. That's a nice kid and stuff like that. But I had this. I broke almost every commandment. Like I had sinned, but I would hide it. But I would try to portray something
Yeah.
that I wasn't. And then it took me a while to feel that no one is really good, and you need to come to God. But so I knew about God, but I didn't have a relationship
Mm.
once. And He kind of called me. Cause I went off to college. I said I'm gonna keep going to church and all kind of stuff like that. I went to church down in Miami. Services, the early service was in English. The service I wanted to go to was in Spanish. I didn't want to get up early, so I started going to the Spanish service. I don't speak Spanish, but I'm following everything as much as I can. And all of a sudden, I'm like, what am I doing? So instead of finding another church or getting up early, I just stopped going
Mm.
and started getting involved in a lot of things I should have gotten involved with. But toward the end of my college years, and especially right after college, I felt God calling my heart and started getting into my word. Even prayed for a Bible at some point. I said, I want a Bible. And then I came to FIU. They had a set where professors throw away old books.
Mm-hmm.
Right there was a Bible. Now I read that Bible to this day. It's actually, still have it here. It's beat up,
Wow.
but
That's the same
I've had it
one.
for a long, long time. Same one. That's my go-to Bible.
Wow.
But in essence, he was calling me, and I started reading, and I saw basically where I was wrong in my approach.
Yeah.
A lot of things I was taught, even in certain churches, were false. And so I found a Bible leaving church and found different places. Then I found my accountability partners there. And so it's just been a journey. Like you say, you're on the journey. If you're following, He's there for you for your journey, and wherever your job or your interaction, you're supposed to bring Him with you wherever you're going. And that's it. So
Sean, you talk about accountability and just having good, just male friends. So recently, my wife was talking to me and she was saying, what did God want in a man, right? Or a husband? I can't remember exactly what the words was, but my wife, I'm not the one to read a Bible, right? I believe in God. I have my own relationship, but my wife is one that opens his Bible. So when she said that, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna go figure this out. What does a man like? What does a God want from a man? For a man. So I went to my friend ChatGPT, Claude, whichever AI friend, right? And I said, yo, make it make sense for me, right? And know a little bit about me, so kind of put it into this picture. I'm like, oh, okay, it makes sense. So then I went to my wife and I told her what ChatGPT told me, and she looked at me like, you're crazy. Then I went to my neighbor across the street and he looked at me like I done stole something. I said, why are you guys upset with me? I truly just wanted to know. So from that moment on, they said, if you ever have a question, you go to God. And then my friend got me a devotional. Cause like, sometimes just the Bible, it doesn't make sense to me. And so he got me a devotional, and it's like every day you read it for a minute and it gives you something. What is your thoughts on that, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? I already got a little scold, so you could do the same thing for me, but it just goes to I love that you said you found yourself in it, but also the men accountability, like for him to go out and buy that book. He didn't have to, right? But it was he's like, hey man, if you really want to tap in,
Yeah.
tap in, don't sit here and utilize all this. But what's your thoughts on it?
So God can talk to you in many ways, but there's a reason why the scripture is here. That's one way that he can. The main subject of the Bible is simple. The nuance, simple. Salvation, it's simple, straightforward. Like, he died for you, for your sins, and there's nothing, you can't earn anything. So also you just have to accept him, and that's a gift that he has for you. Now, in terms of trying to live right and do those different things, that takes a little bit more that takes a little bit more nuance. So in essence, that's why you need to have people around you, and that's why even a Bible believing church, and that's so they can pour into you, even devotionals and different things. And even devotionals are good, but also you have to make sure the message is correct. So I have a pastor that says, hey, everything I say, go ahead and check it yourself afterwards just to make sure, because I don't want to lead you astray, because people who are in charge of teaching people, if you lead them to the wrong thing, there's some serious accountability there.
Yeah.
There's some serious accountability. But I would say it's baby steps. Devotionals are a good way to start. I would say start with the Gospel, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John is a good way to start, because it's story. Because people, like, the Bible is a historical fact. So obviously you can build stuff and you can get stuff from it. And like me, I've read the Bible tons of times, and I can read the same passage now that I did last year and get something different out of it, because
Okay.
that's what. But the key is, if you accept God before you read, say, hey, listen, tell me what you need me to know today, and then you go through, and he'll tell you. He'll
Yeah.
tell you, like, okay, know something. I understand that now, and I understand that now in a different way. So in essence, you just have to ask for it, but then have people around you, because church isn't the be all end all. To me, church is like a refresher, because during the week everything's beating on you. So like at work right now, we have $1 million less of funding to help our students. But I'm reading about the peace of God. So, something. It's something I need to work on. I need to work hard on. I need to figure out what to do. But I'm at peace. I'm not stressed out. I'm not pulling out my hair. Because if I'm not at where I need to be, I'm no good to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, uh, that's that refreshing. And then throughout the week, you have your relationship. But like Thursday night, we have a good bunch of guys. We have a Bible study together. Every time we finish a Bible study, we have a dinner together, or we'll go together and we'll go kart racing. We'll do a bunch of different things, because it's not only just you're doing life with each other. That's the
Yeah.
difference. So, but it's important to read your word. You do it by yourself, but you can do it with others. So you get into a group, and then people discuss different things. Okay, you learn different perspectives, but you're not supposed to do life alone. You have
Yeah.
a gift. You have a gift and a platform and all kinds of stuff like that. The gift that you have may be different than somebody else's has. So you
Yeah.
can give a unique perspective about something, and vice versa. So, but when you're by yourself, whatever you've been given, that's all you have access to. So you're missing the whole thing. That's why you need to have people around you also, because everybody has different gifts and different talents. So when you're working together, you can hear the perspectives about different things you didn't think about before.
I see. I see. You got passion about that, man. I love it. I love that you talk about it so
Yes.
openly. A lot of people don't. What you talked about gift. What do you think your gift is? What's your God given gift talents?
So there's two types of talent. So one is everybody, whether you're a believer or not, like people are talented at certain things. You're born you're born with that specific gift. And then obviously once you come to know Christ, he'll give you spiritual gifts, which are a little bit different. So one thing, like, I don't know how or why, something about kids and even babies. Any baby can be around, and I will make eye contact and they'll laugh. Like I was at a conference the other day. Somebody had a kid. I said hi to the baby. I walk up the stairs. The baby is just following me all around. I'm like, I don't know what it is about with me working with kids, but there's something there.
Yeah.
And also I want to say in some cases leadership, because wherever I've been, if I've just been a serve and volunteer, people have eventually pushed me in the leadership position.
Yeah. Yeah.
or see me in that way. So I think those are different things. But in terms of spiritual gifts, one thing, I'm very even keel. I'm usually very, very patient also. I don't get too high, too low on anything, which helps me look at a situation and a person with love and empathy rather than overreacting. It does happen. It happened to me for the first time a long time, a couple of weeks ago. But when it happened, I'm like, this is so rare. This is not me. Let me see what's going on. And with the study group, I did a Bible study Thursday nights. I like to facilitate. And I like to teach. And because I like to teach, I have to make sure I know my word. Otherwise, you can't. So those are different things. But
Yeah.
honestly, I think the number one gift is just serving, helping people, whatever it is. So if you're eating, I'll pick up your plate for you and throw it in the garbage. Whatever it is, like what I can do for you is just an extension of what God does for us every day. So to me, serving is a gift, and that's it.
I love that you say leadership is one of those things that continues to find you, because I found myself sometimes going and say, I want to start from the bottom. Like, I wanted to work at a shoe store, even though I had management experience. I just want to start at the, selling shoes. And from there, within months, you're at a supervisor position. I went to the airline industry. I just want to take calls from home. From there, now I'm traveling the world, facilitating. Wasn't that I was looking for it. It's just who I am, and people seeing that in me. And I think more now tapping into that, because I understand that's what my gifts are. My voice, for so long, Sean, I hated my voice and I would not go back and watch videos. But I've always had this, like, my daughter asked me, "What did you want to be in school, Dad?" I said, well, early on in my life, I wanted to be a police officer. But then as I was leaving high school, I just knew I wanted to do entertainment. I knew that I wanted to be a host. I felt like I had this vision of being on the stage. But going back to God's vision, see, I thought I was going to be the next Ryan Seacrest and I was going to be like the host of American Idol or something. But the ability of God to say, hey, this is your stage, utilize your voice, right? Like, I'm now doing wrestling, like, which is a form of entertainment, doing really the things that I love. You talked about peace of mind, knowing your work. You're saying so many great things, man, that people had to pour into me. But when I left my airline job about 3 years ago, I was struggling. Like, talking about faith, I had to have so much faith, man. Like, someone says, Ephraim, you don't realize the amount of mountains that you've moved with a mustard seed of faith. And that's all you really need, and knowing my work. When I called him and I said, man, I'm struggling. This is where I'm at. He says, Ephraim, I've seen you rebuild yourself and help rebuild others. But when do you take your own advice? Sometimes we teach best what we need the most. I said, yeah, what do you mean by that? He says, you're always telling somebody to know their worth. When do you know yours? Bro, it was a check. It was a gut check. Like, oh man, you're right. What does that look like, right? You really got to tap in. You got to dig deep. So everything
Mhm.
that you're saying, Sean, and for those that are listening, it's like, those are strong, powerful messages.
Yeah.
And if people just act on those, you'll really get to see a different version of yourself.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is a different version I'm talking to, Sean, than the person that was graduating high school 10, 20 years ago?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because no matter what no matter what you're growing, you could be going in the right direction or the wrong direction, because you're getting your input and things around you. So you're always changing and growing in some way. Or I say changing in some way because it could be regressing. But if
Yeah.
you're not moving forward, if you're standing still, you're moving backwards because the world's not stopping.
Yeah, true.
So in essence,
True.
and that's the thing. But yeah,
Okay, okay.
that's it. And everything, there's different chapters in life. There's chapters in life you may have planted. There's chapters in life you may have nothing. There's chapters in life you may be hardship. There's chapters in life of joy. So it just depends. So just be gracious in every chapter and know
I love it.
you have a short time here. Make the best of it.
Yeah, I love it, man. I'm loving this conversation. Let's talk a little bit about All Stars, man. So
Mhm.
you get into this organization. What does it look like on a day-to-day basis? Is it only working with, I'm guessing, the youth, and these youth now have a direct path to FIU? What does that actually look like? I know there's a collaboration there.
So we have a middle school and a high school program. We have an elementary school program also that's fee based, and we use the revenue for that. That's outside the university to help support the free program. Because middle school and high school, odds are people aren't going to pay for a program first and foremost, and two, um, there's a huge need there. Like if you remember middle school and you talk to middle school teachers, middle school's a rough time.
Yeah.
Kids are trying to find themselves where they belong. Kids are acting out. Kids are like middle school's a rough time. And that's where the gap, most people don't want to help serve there. And that's where our primary focus is. So we have we have a very low overhead. Over 91% of what we raise goes straight to the program because we have no facilities. So in essence, here at FIU, we don't pay for facilities for administrative offices. At the school, we operate in school sites. So I hire school day teachers from the school teachers from the school day to work
Yep.
in the after school. So we give over 200 teachers second jobs throughout South Florida.
Wow.
So their second jobs, they work in the same schools, they're working with the same students they know, but it's after school, it's not day school. So it's a different type of atmosphere. But we support day school. So they'll have an academic session where they're working on computer tutorials, specific engaging activities that build upon what's supposed to be learning in school.
Yeah.
There's homework time. They have an academic hour, period. Then after that, depending on the end of the school day, because we usually run around 6 o'clock, some people have a 3-hour program, some people have a 2-hour program. You can either have arts, fitness, or both. So arts is visual arts, performing arts, percussion, dance. Arts also falls under STEM. So we may do 3D printing, we may do drone flying, we may do computer design. We may do hairdressing, we may do it's all different types of things. And then fitness is cooking, is nutrition, the different forms of exercise. And additionally, we all have every semester that each student is required to do some type of life skill program in terms of moral values, in terms of decision making, in terms of dealing with conflict, in terms of also self-efficacy, those type of things, making sure they feel valued and they know that they're valued. So all that is included and is free of charge. We also provide bus transportation to take them home in the afternoons. And with our partnership in the school system gives them a meal every day, because we don't know the situation for people, and if they need a meal at school, they can have a meal before they go home and come back the next day. We have obviously like I said, we had a big reduction in funding, and we had to close 4 locations this year. We did get a grant for 2 different ones. We're in 17 middle schools this year and 9 high schools. Yeah, at the high school level, it's just more advanced. We do workforce development. We actually get dual enrollment, so they get college courses, college credit to go into our after school program if they qualify. And we do a lot of just helping them figure out what their direction and what they want to go in, and telling them what's needed. Is it trade school? Is it college? What are the skills that you need for the goals that you want to set? We're just going to help you with that, you and your family. We do parent classes also. I can teach a kid about nutrition. Middle school about nutrition and health. But if they go home, that's what's on the plate. You got to eat. But if you start educating parents and say, okay, this is how you can get these things and how they can be reasonably costs, because obviously cost is important, then you can help transform a family. So those are the different things that we do. And it's just free programs. They're almost every day after school. We did have to cut down some of the days because of the reduction of funding for some programs. But we're just here to help, come alongside parents, come alongside the schools. The mission is to help kids succeed in school and in life. So we're just doing our small part to help kids and their families do so.
Is this only in Miami right now?
No, so this is actually a national organization. We're an independent chapter. I run the South Florida chapter. Like in Florida, we have Tampa, we have Orlando. It was actually founded by Arnold Schwarzenegger back in early 90s, 1992. He was named on the President's Council of Physical Fitness. He was going around the country saying, I want to pump you up. And he and a few of his celebrity friends were opening up Planet Hollywoods everywhere. But everywhere he opened up Planet Hollywood, he opened up what was the precursor to this Inner City Games. He was giving back to every community that he was opening up.
Yeah.
And Inner City Games was about latchkey kids, about fitness and health and those type of things. But around the turn of the century, it's like, no, something more is needed. So it evolved into After School All Stars to provide summer camp programs and after school programs to kids, because this is what they needed for their development. But all over the country, we got a Hawaii, we got a bunch in California, got Texas, you name it, it's all over the place.
What school in Orlando? You know, by top of your head?
Multiple schools in Orlando, but how we keep our low overhead here, obviously we're partnered with FIU. Orlando's actually part of the city, so it's actually called the Mayor's Program. So it's part of the city of Orlando. They operate and share the program. So if they're within actual city of Orlando and it's a middle school, odds are they probably have our After School All Stars program.
Got it. I only asked, man, because I was actually having a conversation with an athletic director in the high school. I think I told you that I'm the president of the foundation over there. And they were looking for like a stipend because it was like, hey, so many students, we have to kick off campus, because we just don't have anyone to really be with them. And these kids, maybe they just want to work out, but we can't open the building, so no one's there to watch them. Yeah. Maybe they need help with homework, but no one, because sometimes parents can't get out of work till 5, 6 o'clock. You know that. And I always think is how can we help these students, right? These students are not bad kids, but if we don't get them the help, they will become these kids that are just curious because they're curious individuals. I mean, I was a hella curious kid, right? Like that's how we got in trouble. So no, that's the only reason I was asking, man. I think it's a hella cool. How do kids find out about this? If it's in their school, how do they find out about it?
So essentially, it's part of the school. It's a recruit in the school. There's flyers in the school. When there's school open houses, we're there to promote the program. So hey, it's free of charge, but it's not a drop-in program. So if you're gonna come, you got to be there. A lot of it is, like I said, a lot of it is grant funded. And also we try to get private donors to do some events. But say if you're going to be here, please be here, because if you're just here one day or you're just here for a couple hours as a holdover, it doesn't make sense because you're picking up a spot for somebody who could need it. We open up, it's first come, first serve. We open up to the entire school. Obviously, the teachers in the school can recommend, hey, this student needs help in a certain area, and we'll do whatever we can. But yeah, it's a the schools. If we're in our school, the population should know about us. But that's one of our problems though, because we're having our 30th anniversary in November here in South
30th, you
Florida.
said?
30th anniversary in South Florida
Okay.
this November, and not many people know about us. We never focus
Mm,
about We don't focus. We didn't focus on marketing the way we should. We just focus about program the kids. We're in the schools. The confusion, like, okay, we're in the schools. Are we part of the school or not? Because we all do partnerships. That's how we can make sure our dollars go in the right place. But nowadays, with obviously the reduction of funding, um, we're we've been heavy on government grants a lot, and thought those are up in the air, especially at the federal
yeah.
level. So how do we continue to function, provide these free services? So that's the hard part for us. So we're trying to, one, become more known to the populations outside of who we serve. So hopefully we get donors and get people, hey, just do a site visit if you're interested in volunteering, but we want you to know about who we are and what we do. And if we can do that, hopefully we have a stakeholder in you that you want to help support a kid or support a school site, because it really hurt to close those school
Yeah.
sites, those 5 school sites this year. And I'm trying to figure out what can we do to keep them open, but at the same time we have a bunch of sites we're trying to keep open right now. We had to reduce services in. So I understand in life you cannot be the master, you can't be the savior of everybody. You can't. It doesn't. But together we can do more,
Yeah.
and we've been doing this because of the lack of self promotion. We've been doing this almost like on our own. And like I said before, like I said, accountability and stuff, like you can't do stuff on your own.
Yeah.
So
Gotta spread the
that's what
word.
we're trying to do now. Say, what can we do to let people know who we are, what we do, and how they can kind of be involved alongside of us, what is financial or not financial. Maybe
Yep.
it's services, maybe it's something, helping mentor a kid. But what can we do to make sure that we have a larger support system to sustain us, because the work we do is important. Yeah.
Where can people find? You guys have a website, I'm guessing. What is the website? So if someone wanted to find some more information.
So actually, the website is sfasas.org, South Florida After School All Stars.org. That's probably the best one to go to. And it just tells you all about us and what's going on. We have events throughout the year. We have golf tournaments. We have something called Superfest. We bring all the kids together. They compete in sports and art competitions, and they do STEM showcases like drone shows and stuff. And it's a free day for the family to get together and culminate. Because, like I say, we have a lot of sites. So if you're not familiar with South Florida, people always think of Florida, South Florida. Oh, Miami. Miami Beach is like a small. We have rural areas. We have rural areas where it's only gardening and planting and harvesting. We have the Speedway area by Homestead. We have areas that are strictly 100% Hispanic, places that are 100% Haitian. It's just a mix
Yep.
of cultures and everything here. And when we have these events, we bring all these people from different areas to come together. It's actually in the spirit of sport, competition, and unity. It's awesome. It is awesome.
Love it.
And it's something great to be a part of. And we had that in December. Actually, right here
Okay.
at FIU. FIU is the host site.
Okay, Sean, man. What do you talked about some of the struggles, which looks like maybe the communication, right? 30 years, people just may not know about it. What are some other things you would love to see happen? You've been with this organization for some time. Can imagine you have this vision within you that you're trying to bring to life. What is that? Accountability, man. To make sure the next time I talk to you, I'm gonna say, "Hey, how you doing with this, Sean?"
One is obviously for operational is to have a more sustainable model. We've been doing well. It was hard early on. I've been with the organization for 22 years. Yeah, 22 years.
22.
Yeah, 22 years.
You win, man. You invested.
So, so we've had hard times, and we've had time, like I said, we had times of hard, we had times of plenty, and now it's kind of shift back down a bit. So I want to be more to have a more sustainable model in terms of not to have too much funding in one area, but also so we can be able to support the schools as much as possible. That's one. Two, um, I want hopefully to have to even strengthen the partnership with FIU. It's wonderful. Like right now, if you go to our program and you go to FIU, they have some funds available, and hopefully they still have it. You can get a partial scholarship to FIU just for attending our program.
Oh wow.
And that's awesome. That helps kids. So if you can get associates, so if we can help you get your AA degree by going to our after school program, so you don't have to pay for college.
That's cool.
That
Yeah.
first out of college, then you can come to here to FIU and get at least a partial scholarship. And I don't point them to FIU. I point them to what are your interests, what's the school you need to go. But FIU is an awesome school. I'm just straight up, it's awesome. If someone else is giving a different opportunity or more funds, like do what's best for you. So I never point them, say this is where you have to go, what you have to do. I said present your options, make the best decision for yourself, and that's authentic. So, but yeah, in essence, it's just strengthening our awareness in the community. That's what strengthen our awareness in the community, awareness of us in the community. Being have a more sustainable model, and hopefully get more youth leaders coming up within our organization. We have a very, very low turnover rate. So we've had teachers with us, have been long with us. Who, I had someone who's retiring yesterday from one of our schools. She joined the program before I did. So in essence, what people, when they're with us, they stay with us.
Yeah.
But also the key is also you want to keep it able to grow, because you don't want everybody retiring at the same time and leaving at the same time, because they didn't have a huge gap. So I want to be able to have enough to expand in a way we can bring up a younger generation. Someone else say like, I came in right out of college after my master's degree, that I want to stay here for 22 years. So I want to have that. We've had some people come and they say want to come back and do different things, but I want to have more of that. So the sustainability is in play.
Love it. Shaman, I really appreciate the conversation, appreciate the leader that you are, the person you've become, and just really sharing all the gems with men like me, with those that are listening as well. We truly appreciate it, man. Are you on LinkedIn? Where can people find you?
Yes, I am on LinkedIn, Sean Prospect. I'm right there. Also, the organization, Southfield After School All-Stars, is also on LinkedIn. Yeah, so reach out. Just reach out. Because like I say, we all need to do life together.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. I'm Ephraim. This is Sean. Make sure you guys do follow, subscribe, and comment. These are the conversation that we have every single week with some great leaders that are doing things behind the scenes that sometimes they don't get their flowers. But today, Sean, you talked about 22 years, man. You definitely deserve your flowers. Thank you so much for being that leader. Thank you for pouring back into our youth. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Latest.
Take care.